Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechsig of Mad River Outfitters and the Midwest Fly Fishing Schools, and welcome back to another one of our Q&A videos. And really honored to have the guy here that I stole the Q&A videos from.
I know, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't have to do them.
Right. Well, you know, it's something that working in a fly shop, that's what we do. It's Q&A. So let's jump right in. Kelly and I, we're going fishing tomorrow morning. And then we've got a big event tomorrow night at Mad River Outfitters. We have a huge group. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyhow, let's jump right in. Q&As. Here we go. It's Q&A day.
Q&A day.
Yep. James Wedmore from Edmond, Oklahoma. What year did you open your first fly shop and what led you to getting into the fly fishing business? Make it fast.
I don't really remember. It was 82 or 3. I opened out of my house. What made me get into it, I just knew. Yeah. I left a really big career at Shiloh. It was funny because I told my foreman, I'm going to start a fly shop. This is how, and he fly fished. Bryce Southwell was his name. And he said, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to open a fly shop. He said, what are you going to do with them? He thought I was going to raise flies. Yeah. There was no such thing as fly shops. There's bait shops. There's tackle shops. I always knew I was going to do it. And so I think it was shortly after that, I went into full-time into Traverse City. Sophie Reynolds from Arcadia, California. To interject, that's the same thing. I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. I was going to music school. I was studying jazz guitar at the University of Cincinnati Conservatory. I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. That's all I'd done. They didn't have a college degree for fly fishing, so the next most lucrative business was jazz guitar. Oh, they're equally as lucrative. Yeah, maybe you should have tried the harmonica.
Sophie Reynolds from Arcadia, California. What is the driving force behind your fly designs, and how do you go about it?
That's simple. My fly design started by guiding. I go about it. Ironically, people think I name them first. I go about that by, I have a hard time designing flies but if I'm not fishing with someone. The early days was more me, Russ, Jerry Wilson, Jerry Dennis, fishing together. As a guide, I look to see what you can do with the fly or why the fly is not working with one person, it is another, and I would design to make it easier for anglers. It was pretty much all, obviously you've got your own ideas, but mine was driven by guiding. And I would just see flies that some people could fish and some people couldn't and try to make them lighter, faster, swimmier, whatever it was. And so, frequently you can take somebody that's really good and they can do a lot of things with a fly. Then you take somebody like Johnny, who's not that good, and he can't, right? And so, Actually, Johnny is really good.
He's really good.
So I would take flies with Johnny and watch that Johnny could make a fly do things that I couldn't do with it. And then I would change it because I would make it so I could try to do what he could do or vice versa, kind of in reverse. But it was always, for me, it was always driven on guiding.
And it's essentially problem solving.
Yeah.
And I've also seen you, I've always found this, and maybe we could do this on another time. I've seen your sketch pad.
Everyone.
And you sketch a fly.
In my mind. And I've had several of those, but I mean, where I have every fly I've ever done, I've sketched in advance. And I've had 2 of them that came up I keep a notepad by my bed, and I've had 2 come up that I don't know how they got there. I just wake up and go, must have been a restless night because, and there's this fly, and it just was there.
It's like Keith Richards in Satisfaction. He woke up one night and hit record on the thing, and Satisfaction was born. Anyhow, different story. How did you and Brian, Robert Ash from Belhaven, Virginia wrote, how did you and Brian from MRM meet and become friends? I can tell that story. It was 1990. I was hosting my first trip for a shop called Streamside Outfitters out of Cincinnati. I showed up at Johnson's Pier Marquette Lodge with a group of 6 anglers. Guides were Kelly Galloup, Walt Grau, and Charlie Weaver. It means you and I have been friends for 34 years. Of course, Charlie Weaver was one of my dearest friends. Charlie and I went on to play music together for years and recorded a CD called River Song. Walt Grau is one of the unsung heroes of...
Personally, I think Walt is the most innovative angler I've ever known.
I would agree.
And his fly design, everything Walt's ever done. I think he's the first guy to throw spay in this country.
Yeah.
With any, everything he's done in my life. And I mean, and his fly design, he was a great vest designer. And he would sew them himself.
No kidding.
The most sought after things, they were so great, but he's just that guy, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100% on that one.
Well, and we've been friends, and we've always been competition, and I think a lot of people are often amazed by that. But we've always been very friendly and supportive competition. You send business to Mad River Outfitters all the time. We send business to you all the time. And I've always felt that what's good for you and the gang at the Slide In is good for Mad River Outfitters, and I think that feeling
kind of sisters,
yeah,
sister businesses.
So, and we've been going to the Slide In. This will be our 21st year. 2024 is 21 years of hosting
Amazing.
trips at the Slide In. Easy one. Billy Farmington for Cottonwood, Arizona. Of all your streamer patterns, which one is your favorite? You knew that was coming.
You know, I get asked that all the time, and I got asked yesterday. I think Justin even asked me, the owner of the MFC. I don't know. I'd probably be the Zoo Cougar. I mean, I really, the one that's made me the most money is the Dungeon for sure. I don't know. The Zoo Cougar is just a special place. It was a great time. It's the beginning of it all.
Created the great mallard shortage of the early 2000s.
But it was just, it's just that it's the beginning, pretty and all that stuff, but I think about that all the time. And if you ask me today about the new ones, it's probably the one that I'm about to do, but which I haven't thought of yet. But I think, because I get asked this so often, and everybody wants me to say Black Sex Dungeon because it's just fun to say.
It's just fun to say.
But
think about.
I think it's the Zoo Cougar. I honestly do.
Well, that fly swam when we all first threw it, we were like, holy, how does a fly swim like that?
It's just, that was the fun.
It was special, and it was just the launching pad.
Yeah, it was the beginning. I was sorting my flies the other day. I culled out over 1,000 flies out of my boxes, and I still have one box that big that is nothing but Zoo Cougars.
Yeah.
And they're not really that different. They're just very close to my heart.
Yeah, right. Cool. There you have it. James, Sophie, Robert, and Billy, we're going to send you all out a Mad River Outfitters hat and a fly box. And also, we're going to include a free week at the Slide In for each one of you.
For each one of you. Guided by me.
That's on Kelly, guided by him. And stories are free, as well as the last.
The stories are going to cost you a lot.
That's true. Yeah. I had that backwards. Sorry. All right. Well, Kelly, thanks again for being here, man.
Pleasure.
Let's go have some dinner, some supper. As our good friend Flip says, you can't say dinner in Florida. Maybe an adult beverage, and we'll see you tomorrow on the water, so stay tuned. As always, friends, thanks for being here. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have questions and they're urgent, send us an email or call us here at the shop. Remember that we can't really get to the questions in the comments down below because we work 7 days a week.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, so we appreciate your questions. Send them to admin@madriveroutfitters.com. If we read them here on the channel, we'll send you out a free hat and fly box. Subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss an episode. Hit that like button and stay tuned. And be sure to watch all of these, but just watch all of our videos.